بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Assalamu alaikum.
Can you all hear me? Yes? Okay. So I was just thinking as I was coming in that it's too quiet, isn't it? It's extremely quiet, yeah. Is everyone okay? Yeah? Okay, but I think it would be good if we stay like this whilst our guest is speaking or singing the nasheed. That would be great, inshallah. So let me just tell you about our guest and also why we're having this assembly. It's very, very important for us. So, who can put their hand up and tell me the name of our madrasa? Yes, right at the back. Good, Fatima Elizabeth. Okay, Fatima Elizabeth Academy. Who knows anything about this one person that we named our madrasa after? Anyone know anything about her? Yes.
She was the first Muslim in this world.
Wow. Okay. Almost. Okay. She was one of the first female Muslims she was one of the first documented female Muslims in Victorian Britain. Who studied about the Victorians? Anyone heard of Queen Victoria? Yeah. Tell me anything about Victorians that you studied at school. Sorry? She hanged people? Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Yes?
Her reign was between 1837 and 1901.
Oh, wow. So 1837 and 1901. So that's when Queen Victoria was ruling. And just to let you know, Fatima Elizabeth passed away in 1900. So 1 year before Queen Victoria passed away. So the special guest who's now arrived, she lives in the same town as Fatima Elizabeth used to live. Okay, and also she, just like Fatima Elizabeth, is also someone who converted to Islam. Okay, or reverted to Islam, whichever one you choose. And at the same time, there was a play that took place. So another thing about Liverpool was the very first mosque of Britain was in Liverpool. Now that mosque was just recently taken back from the council. So it used to be used for wedding, it was a wedding registrar, etc. So that mosque was very recently sold to the Muslims for £1. Okay. And then the Muslims took the mosque, and now they're reviving what the early Muslims of Victorian Britain did in England. And Sister Amirah, okay, she is also part of that revival. Now, one of the things that Sister Amirah, she will tell you more about, and I will stop talking at this point, is that they've started what's called the Quilliam Choir. Now, what's Quilliam? Sheikh Abdullah William Quilliam was one of the first Muslims in Victorian Britain, and he started calling people towards Islam. Fatima Elizabeth was one of the people who became Muslim. She was, I think, the first female Muslim who became Muslim at the hands of Abdullah Quilliam. Now, Abdullah Quilliam, Sheikh Abdullah Quilliam, he used to write nasheeds, or he had a choir, and Sister Amirah is now part of the group of people who are starting that again. So she will be talking to us about Fatima Elizabeth and also about the Quilliam Choir and everything else, and even about herself, inshallah. So can all of us give her a round of a mashallah? Can I ask you to put this closer to you? Yeah, absolutely. Just sit down.
Is that right?
Yeah. Just put it closer to you.
Oh, okay. I've never worn one of these before. Very impressed. MashaAllah. So, Assalamu alaikum, everybody. My name is Amirah. I also have another name actually called Louise, which is a nice name actually. But when I became Muslim, I just felt like it seemed appropriate to change my name, and I just quite like the sound of Amirah. I didn't put too much thought into why I chose it. But Louise actually comes from the French verb, which is luire, which means to shine. So it's a beautiful name as well. But it was a Christian name, and I became Muslim 18 years ago, alhamdulillah. So it just felt fitting as well to have a new Muslim name, because it was a new chapter for me in my life. So I'm really delighted to be here today. I've had a really hectic week. I'm actually really exhausted, but at the same time, I'm so happy to be here to see you all and to meet you all. And I feel really indebted to your Ustad Hamid for what he's done in setting this madrasa up, and especially because he's called it after Fatima Elizabeth Cates. Now, mashallah, I only discovered this recently, that your madrasa existed, and it's because of your Ustad that I was able to find out where Fatima's buried. And this week I went to see her grave with a friend of mine who's in the choir with me. She's from Yemen, mashallah. So we wanted to go and pay our respects to Fatima and apologise to her for not having been to see her sooner, because I didn't know where she was. She's got an unmarked grave, and Ustad very cleverly found it. He's a really good detective, and I was thinking about doing a master's degree recently on Fatima Cates, and I came across your Ustad and I thought, mashallah, I don't know if I need to do it because it's just amazing, it's all here. So I am really thankful for that, and I might actually just now use the material he's collated to go around doing talks, because he's made my life a lot easier, so I want to thank him for that. And I've got a little gift for your Ustad as well, which I'll give it to him at the end, just to say thank you for inviting me. And maybe this will be the beginning of a nice relationship with Liverpool. Maybe, I'm hoping, inshallah, it'll be the first of many visits. Maybe we can bring the rest of the choir. They were intending to come, but they're all committed with children and young babies, and we've been on maternity leave for 6 months from the choir, so we've only just recently started practicing again. So the rest of the choir, they send their salams, and I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing, but I'm going to be singing a little song for you. And you have to bear in mind that I'm not the choir leader, right? And I've only just discovered my voice about 18 months ago. I never used to sing in public. And I checked with my teacher when we started the choir, because I thought, what are our intentions for this choir, you know, because it's not very common to see Muslim women singing. And I got a lot of support from a really important scholar, and he's in Cambridge, and his name is Professor Tim Winters. He's a convert like me, and he's also known as Sheikh Abdul Hakim Murad, mashallah. He was so happy when I told him we were starting a choir, because he sings in a choir in Cambridge, and he sent us his book that he compiled for free, 10 copies. And so we use this, yeah, and I've got one of the songs that we sing. I've got copies for you all to take away, so you can go and practice, and next time I come, inshallah, if I get invited back, you can all sing it to me, inshallah, you can practice. So yeah, so the rest of the choir members, they couldn't, apologies for not being able to attend, but they send their warmest salams. And when we were at the grave of Fatima Cates, we apologised for taking so long to find her, and we promised her that we'd do our best to serve her legacy to the best of our ability, because I have a big responsibility as a convert from Liverpool, as part of that community. So that's why I'm here, and I've come all the way, and I left yesterday at 4 in the morning. I'm so tired, but alhamdulillah, I'm so excited as well, so I'm probably a bit delirious, but so I'm not used to talking actually to children audiences so much. I'm trying to make it children friendly for you, but I'll tell you a bit of information, and then we'll have do you fancy having a little sing? Would you enjoy that? Yeah? Okay, so I've got some photocopies for you all. So Liverpool is such an exciting place to live. I know I'm biased because I live there, but I call it the pool of life, because that's where Islam began, in England, and England's first mosque. Mashallah. And it's a very important port, or it was, and it's got a rich maritime history. And one of my hobbies is paddling in the River Mersey. And I love doing it because, especially at night when the city's all lit up and the docks, because it's a World Heritage Site as well. I've always lived by the water. I love the water. So I go paddling and I think about the history of Liverpool. I think about all the people who passed through. and it was known as the gateway of the New World. So many exciting people came through Liverpool, and continue to do so. There's the slavery history, so some of it's very sad as well, and I think about the slaves when I'm paddling, I think about refugees when I'm paddling. There's lots of things that come to my mind when I'm in the water. But it's the perfect place for the first Muslim community really to start, because it was such a vibrant place, and it brought people from all over the world, like nowhere else. So it's hardly surprising. So we call it the Pool of Life. And my son, he goes to a school right in the city centre where all the historical buildings are. It's very beautiful. Have you ever seen the cathedral, the big brown Liverpool cathedral? Have you seen it before? It's one of the biggest, I think, in Europe. And my son's school is right next to it. It's called Lipper. It was set up by Paul McCartney, one of the Beatles, actually. Mashallah. And it's a nice school. But I was thinking about Abdullah Quilliam, and he had Islam in Liverpool before that was even there. That's how rich our Islamic history is and how far it goes back, mashallah. So it was the perfect time and the perfect place for Islam to take root in our city. And we had the most amazing ambassador for our deen, which is Abdullah Quilliam. He was English like me. He was 32 and he became Muslim, mashallah. Now, I'm amazed at how Abdullah Quilliam spreaded his message, because we have the internet now, don't we? But can you imagine then? There was no internet, but somehow, alhamdulillah, he spread the word of Islam across the world. And not only that, he got the title of the Sheikh of Islam from the most important leader in the Muslim world of the time, which was the Sultan Abdul Hamid II. Can you believe? And he was respected by the Amir of Afghanistan, who also donated a lot of money so they could finish the building and do all the wonderful things that they did. So we're very indebted to those people, alhamdulillah. So I've been following the history of Abdullah Quilliam since I became Muslim. I didn't know about him before I became Muslim, but afterwards I knew about him. And I've been watching this group in Liverpool trying to revive his story, and I've been following it very closely. Got the building. I was the first in their room to pray with them, the first time they prayed after 100 years, mashallah. Can you imagine how exciting that was? And it had no roof. It had no proper floors. It was a real health and safety hazard, but we all prayed together for the first time. And alhamdulillah, I've seen the building slowly but surely come together. I was there for the first Jummah when they opened in 2014. It was the first Ramadan we had there. And the founder, the driving force behind reviving the building, was a very dear uncle called Akbar Ali. And it was his dream, his lifetime wish to see this come to reality. And mashallah, it did. And subhanallah, he passed away a few days after. Literally, I think we'd opened, or it was very close. And we had his janazah, can you believe that, in Abdullah Quilliam Mosque, and I was there for that too. So we're very grateful to him. So it's really important that we all strive to do as much as we can, isn't it, in this life, because we want to leave a nice big legacy, don't we? Yeah, and lots of benefits for people, and we want to set the best example, inshallah. Okay, so think about Abdullah Quilliam. Fatima Cates, now, mashallah, I really identify with Fatima Cates because she was, and I had a lot of similarities. I had the good fortune of playing here. We did a very small play in Abdullah Quilliam Mosque, I think maybe 2 Ramadans ago. I've never acted in my life, and I was quite petrified, to be honest, when I got asked by the trustees would I take part, but I thought, okay. And I just had a very small part. It was just a paragraph or so, but I put myself in the role of Fatima, and oh my days, it was amazing. And I was like, I really identify with this woman. And she's describing in the book how she went home and told her mum she wanted to be Muslim. Abdullah Quilliam gave her his Quran, and she described the reaction that she got from her family and how difficult it was, but how dear the book was to her. So in that moment I thought, I really relate to this lady. So it's become my mission to share her story, because not many people know about Abdullah Quilliam, but next to nobody knows about Elizabeth Kate. So I'm absolutely over the moon that your academy is named after her, mashallah. So I want to thank you all for that. Now, she was one of the founders of the mosque, which not many people know. She was also the treasurer. She had a difficult life, and she was a widower, and she had a little boy. So when she passed away, he was put in the care of Abdullah Quilliam. So it's very moving when you go to her grave and you think about the life that she had and the difficulties that she faced. But she's a real inspiration to me, and I'm sure she is to you too. So I'm sure she'd be happy that I'm here today. And I promised her at the grave I would spread the word about her legacy. Inshallah, make dua for me that I can see that through, inshallah. In Liverpool, the community we have now resembles the one we had then. I'm part of a really exciting, dynamic community. And we have a building called Felicity House, which is not too far from the Quilliam Mosque. And our teachers went abroad for 10 years to study, mashallah, with some very respected scholars. You have an unbroken chain of transmission back to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we are blessed that we haven't had to go abroad to travel, and that they've brought that knowledge to us. And they came back to Liverpool and they set something up called the micro madrasa, which is amazing. And now we have a little one for children like yours. So I'm really interested to see how yours compares to ours, and it'd be lovely if maybe we could do an exchange at some point, and learn from each other, because I saw a clip about your madrasa and it looks fabulous. We have a nursery called Happy Children, and my son is a graduate of Happy Children Nursery, and he goes now to the madrasa there twice a week. And then when he's 7, he can go 5 times a week, and they do things like martial arts, they do Brazilian jiu-jitsu, they do archery, they do the Arabic Quran. Mashallah, it's so nice. So it'd be lovely one day if you could come and see what we do there, and maybe we could come and visit you here, inshallah. So I'll tell you a little bit about the choir. I'm trying to think how this came to me, but I just wanted to revive the tradition that Abdullah Quilliam had of singing, because I thought, what a fantastic way to do dawah. And that was his intention, because it wouldn't seem so foreign then to the local people. So we came across some of his material, and I thought, let's, revive the tradition, and let's breathe some life back into the building. And I can say that it was the greatest thing we did, because we were doing a number of things. We were bringing women into the mosque on a Friday morning at a blessed time, in a blessed place with blessed people. So the barakah was immense, and we were giving each other some time to ourselves, so it was very healing and medicinal. It was giving them confidence to sing. And we had 2 little kids who used to come to our choir with their mum, and they couldn't speak. They had autism, and their mum used to struggle to get them to come. But after a time, we saw that they loved coming to the choir, mashallah, and they started to light up when they came. And the mum said, they're singing your songs in the bath. And then they really enjoyed it. And now they started talking. So that was really evidence how healing and how much barakah there was in our choir on a Friday morning, mashallah. We also, our choir leader, she's a convert like me, her name's Zainab. She's a very respected nasheed artist, and we were blessed to have her. We became Muslim about the same time, and she lived in Yemen, where our teachers are from, for 7 years. And she learned to play the drum and to recite the burda, which we do every Friday in Liverpool, and we go around each other's houses, we recite the burda. I was there this Friday, and it was a late one, midnight. I was up till, I was really tired as a result getting up, but every Friday I try to go. So there's lots of barakah in that. So we have Zainab, she's our choir leader. So she makes it easy for us. So she's my teacher. So I'm not the professional. So you're going to have to bear that in mind when we sing, okay? So I'm, I'm the apprentice. So don't have too high expectations. But we'll have a sing. I'm just thinking, which one shall we do? I think for the kids, because you're quite young, we have a song called The Seeds of Love. And this is written by a brother who lives in Canada. And he's done a translation of the Burda as well, which is beautiful. And we asked his permission, could we sing his song? And he said yes. So we've done this with the Muslim Scouts, and they really liked it. We did a drumming workshop, and they really enjoyed it. So I've got some copies. So if I give some, can someone help me just to distribute? You might have to share them, one between two. Do you want to, someone want to come forth? Do you want to come forth? And I've got some, actually I've got more here as well. Let's see. Are we okay for time? Okay. So do you want to take them? You can give them to the kids. Yeah, maybe share one between two. Any readers here, or is it too? Might be too advanced. Can you read? MashaAllah, well done. Okay, well just enjoy it. If you can't read the words, just you can listen. Okay, are we ready? Is everyone ready? Yeah, Bismillah. Okay. I might stand up. It's better when you sing if you stand up. Okay. Okay, everyone? Salawatun tayyibatun lil Habib Moulay Muhammad. Salawatun tayyibatun lil Habib Moulay Muhammad. The seed of love, it has been planted, and our hearts have been enchanted. All other loves we have recanted, but the love of him, Muhammad, salawat tayyibatun lil Habib Moulay Muhammad. Salawatun tayyibatun lil Habib Moulay Muhammad. There is no joy quite like his mention. It relieves all stress and tension. It makes the soul stand in attention. Salutations to Muhammad. Salawatun tayyibatun lil Habib Moulay Muhammad. Salawatun tayyibatun lil Habib Moulay Muhammad. To his city lovers do roam, to the place their hearts call home. When their gaze falls on the green dome, tears pour down, longing Muhammad. Salawatun tayyibatun lil Habib Moulay Muhammad. Salawatun tayyibatun lil Habib Moulay Muhammad. They rub its dust upon their faces, for he makes it the best of places. They hasten on with hurried paces, hastening to reach Muhammad. Salawatun tayyibatun lil Habib Moulay Muhammad. Salawatun tayyibatun lil Habib Moulay Muhammad. Oh, what a hand we have been dealt in the love that we have felt. It is a love that makes us melt. It's the love of him, Muhammad. صلوات طيبات للحبيب مولاي محمد. صلوات طيبات للحبيب مولاي محمد. MashaAllah, thank you for joining
Have a round
in.
of a MashaAllah.
Did you enjoy that? Yeah. Alhamdulillah. Well, thank you for listening, everybody. So yeah, please make dua for us in Liverpool, and I will be telling Liverpool all about you when I get back. So inshallah, we have a really nice connection now, and make dua that greater things come from this, inshallah. And thank you for all of your attention. You've been really well behaved. So, mashallah, I'm really happy to meet you all. Thank you.
And can we all say Jazakallah once more, because the ball is not close, it's really, really far. Jazakallah. Okay, so I think we'll end with any questions about Fatima Elizabeth, or maybe any questions about Sister Amirah and what she does in Liverpool. Any questions, and then after that we'll have the next batch of students coming up.
What
What was the graveyard like?
Well, it was a really misty morning, and a few days before we'd had really beautiful weather. I think you've had some good weather here. It was really misty the day I went. It was a Thursday morning, and I thought, I'm not very good at reading maps. I thought, am I going to be able to find it? But your Ustad, he did some really good groundwork and made it really easy. So it didn't take long at all to find it, and it was really atmospheric. I felt very moved emotionally. I felt very humbled to be at the grave of Fatima, and it's something we should all do to remind ourselves of where we're going and the realities of this life. And it really puts into perspective, you know, when we think we have problems, when you look at the grave, it really puts everything into perspective. So I was very humbled, and inshallah we're hoping to go regularly. We're going to take a lot more sisters, and we're going to try and make it a regular thing. So I will send salams from you all. Would you like me to do that next time I visit Fatima? Yeah? Okay. Thank you.
Any more questions? Oh, we've got another hand up.
Sorry? I can't hear you. What did you say? What do I do? Okay. Okay, so I have a shop in Liverpool called Sacred Space, and it's been there quite a few years. It's an Islamic shop, and in the back room I have a treatment room, and I do healing work. So I give energy and emotional healing to people. And I'm the first practitioner in the UK who's become accredited actually just recently. The healing is called Afia Healing, and it's becoming very popular now across the country. We have a team of other people who are striving to get the accreditation, and we're hoping to actually come into schools and teach children how to manage their emotions, how to do... Have you heard of something called tapping? Anybody heard of tapping? So if you feel anxious, you can tap parts of your body and it really calms you down. Or if you feel angry, you just literally go like this. It's so easy. So we're hoping to go into schools with the children and do some little meditations to ground the children, to do some tapping and maybe some other things. So that's what my passion is at the moment. But I also would like to carry on with this project to promote the, Fatima Cates as well. I do lots of other things in Liverpool, but that's my main interest at the moment. So,
Got a hand up there.
yeah. How did I know it? There was a brother in Canada who wrote that song, and we asked his permission if we could sing it. So, because it was in English, we thought it'd be nice and accessible. And when we sing it to non-Muslims, it's very powerful. And we had a group of children who came to the mosque to hear us. And the teacher said that was the most amazing visit I've ever had to a place of worship. I've been doing this for 20 years. So we understand that it's very powerful when you sing, especially it's like an English woman with a hijab they're playing the drum. It's like powerful. It really impacts on people's hearts. And the brother in Canada who wrote the song, we have a lot of time for him, so we wanted to sing one of his pieces. So that's why it was Zainab who chose that one, the choir leader. So, is that okay?
Should we have one last question before we wrap up, inshallah? Anyone else have any question at all? Sada Kulthum.
And Sister Caroline as well.
Yeah, two more questions, cool.
So I'm quite interested in the variety of actual songs you have, because my Mariam, she goes to choir at school, and I've been in conversation with her and hopefully now with the teachers about what types of songs they could actually rehearse, because there is a very restricted selection that we as Muslims or as a mother feel that she can sing. So about the book that you hopefully are going to give out, that's got a list of songs. I mean, where do you get them from?
Okay, there's some good sites maybe with Ustad. I'll send some links. We sing English and Arabic, but we just wanted you to experience, like, because we were trying to show you, like at the time of Abdullah Quilliam, like we have his material as well. So we wanted it to sing in English so you could feel what it might have been like then for like Liverpudlian, converts to sing, like, so it's like that bridge. So we sing, we do sing in Arabic as well, but we think this is great, because and as a dawah tool, it's just really incredible. And I don't, to be honest, read Arabic hardly very well at all. So when we sing the Arabic, I have to use transliteration. But it's really nice to mix it up. So yeah, there's lots of resources, so we could get them to you, inshallah. Yeah, thank you.
I just wanted to ask what sort of reaction you had from the wider Muslim community around your choir?
Well, the choir, I'd say that we have the community I'm in is very vibrant, but the wider community is less so. It's there's a lot of, quite apathetic in lots of ways, but we didn't have many people coming, but the people who come derive enormous benefit from it, and the impact it's had has been massive. Like, the first song we sang, when we put it on Facebook, we got international recognition, and we got invited to Canada literally straight away. So, and it was a really poor recording as well, and like I say, I've only just started singing, and then I found myself in London 2 months after we started singing with Pearls of Islam. I was like, oh my god, how did I end up here? I'm just carrying the drum. It's but we were expecting to get quite a backlash, actually, because women singing, but I spoke to my teacher. I think it's really about intention. I've got a recording of the intention and the dua we made in Quilliam Mosque the day we set it up, and Zainab, she's opens it up with dua. And I interviewed her, and we said to her, what is our intention for this? So it's a healing. We're bringing women into the mosque. We're reviving the tradition of Quilliam. They're all sound intentions, and it's dawah as well. So my teacher, she would never in front of a mixed audience really, and she would never sing in a mixed audience. But she understands. She's got the wisdom to understand where I am in my, as a Muslim. So she sees what it is, the greater good that it brings. So she gave her blessing, and that's why it was particularly important we got the blessing of Professor Tim Winters, because if anyone did, and there was only one person who actually said that's not appropriate, when I told him we got his blessing, they were like, alhamdulillah, carry on, fine. So, some audiences aren't ready for that, and I understand all the intricacies, but I just feel, especially as a dawah tool, it really is phenomenal, the impact that you have. You see it, and you go to mosques, and we've got open mosque day today, haven't we? So it's a perfect reason to talk about this. You'll go into the mosque, you'll be told all about the how we pray, the pillars, which is all very, very important, but it's quite dry. And I think when we sing, it's a different dimension altogether that we have, an impact that we have. So I'd encourage the kids, to mix it up a bit with the, because, we're competing with a secular world, aren't we? So we need to make it attractive for them. And to be honest, historically, when I heard nasheeds, I'd always heard like really traditional, like Asian style ones. I couldn't relate to them at all, to be honest. I respect but I needed something that was relative to me, my time, my history, my culture, and that's what I think we've captured. So, don't know.
Okay.
You're welcome. Thank
Can
you
we
for
have
having us.
Can we have a final round of a mashallah?